All right, guys, I did it, or I should say we did it. I got my CAJA lowered, my socialized medicine monthly payment called the CAJA in Costa Rica. I got my monthly payment lowered. How much? Was it a good day yesterday? Did I lower it a lot? Does it matter? Going to find out in about 45 seconds. Guys, I'm Michael Allen for TravelCostaRicaNow.com. If you haven't subscribed, please do. YouTube is a whole different thing now these days, and those numbers do help me. So you just want to help me out, hit the subscribe button. If you want to show some love for 16 years of videos and free information about living and traveling in Costa Rica, you can go to a link in the description and buy me a coffee. It's a fun way to donate, and I'd appreciate it. I actually got my best coffee mug out for this video. So anyway, if you want to show some love, you can go to the link in the description. Okay, let's do some review, some quick review. So you get your residency here. Basically, there's other ways, but basically it's 3 categories. Pensionado is your Social Security check. It's got to be $1,000 or more. You get your residency, and the government, the security check guarantees you get at least $1,000 coming in every month. Okay, so then there's Rentista. Rentista is guaranteed of $2,500 a month. That's another way you can get your residency through that Rentista category. Another way is like an investor category. Let's say you buy a house. It has to be $150,000 or more. There's a couple other ways you can get your residency, but those are basically the 3 ways. Now your CAJA, the socialized medicine, if you become a resident, you have to pay in to the CAJA, the socialized medicine here. Doesn't matter what healthcare you have in the United States. It's irrelevant. You get your residency in Costa Rica, you have to pay into the CAJA. Well, the CAJA is based on that monthly thing. Okay, so if you're, for instance, if your pensionado category, your Social Security check has to be at least $1,000, but let's say it's $3,000. You did good in your life and you get $3,000 a month. They're going to base your CAJA payment on that $3,000, and that's going to be pretty high. It's probably going to be $400, $500, $600 a month to pay into the CAJA. So obviously, the closer your Social Security check is to $1,000, let's say your Social Security check was $1,001, your CAJA is going to be pretty low. It's going to be maybe $75 a month, right? So Rentista category, now you're guaranteeing $2,500 a month. That's how you got your residency. Let's say it was a trust fund, whatever. Guaranteed $2,500 a month. Your CAJA is going to be based on the $2,500, which is already going to make it higher. You're already getting up into bigger figures. Let's say maybe you're paying based on your Rentista category. It could be $300, $400, $250, higher than it would be if you were close to $1,000 on the pensionado. Following along? Okay, and the investor category is going to be based on your investment, and that's going to be higher probably too than the pensionado category if it's your Social Security check, right? So that's how they base your CAJA payment on. So you want to be, if you are close to $1,000, you're pretty good. If you've done well in your life, you're going to be paying more. That's basically how it goes here, right? So if you guys remember, 5 years ago, my category was Rentista, $2,500 a month. As soon as I got my little card, my residency card, I went right up. They took me right up to the CAJA, and you got to sign up. And I was sweating bullets. I was like, oh my God, I can only afford so much, back then, a monthly payment. I had a figure in my head. I can do no more than, I don't know, $250, because I didn't know. I actually did not know. Matter of fact, I didn't even know what they put I didn't even know how I qualified for residency. But anyway, I went up there and it was $220. And I was like, that's high, but it's okay. I can deal with that. I'm getting legit in my business. I'm making everything right, paying my taxes, getting everything right. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'll pay $220. Well, during that time, all of a sudden I was paying $220, $220, $220, $220. And all of a sudden I went and it was like, no, it's not $220, it's $250. Like, well, what happened? I got but my Spanish isn't good enough to complain. Who am I going to write? I'm just going to be I'm just going to be the gringo that goes along with it. Okay, I guess it's $250 now. I didn't even really, I bitched about it to other people. Hey man, they did this to me, but I didn't do nothing. I just was a respectful gringo, and I paid $250. Well, somehow it got up to around $280. And so this last time when I got re-upped my residency, you know, I got my permanent residency a few months ago, whenever that was, I was like, man, I got to get my CAJA lowered. So here's how I did it. Now, I'm not saying you can do this. It depends on the category. So I was rentista, right? Well, I got my Social Security. I started collecting Social Security about whenever it was, a year and a half ago. Now, Johnny, who helped me with this, by the way, you know Johnny. Johnny's my medical dental tourism guy, but he is very astute in the health system here, man. He was brought up in the States, but all his family's here. He speaks Spanish. He knows how things work, and he's very good at even the health care. Forget about, you know, enlarging your breasts or getting stem cell therapy. He knows the health system here, and he goes, Mike, we can get that lowered. And he even tried it out on another couple, I guess, you know, and it did work. And he goes, we can do that. We can get your Social Security down, monthly payment. So now, since I get my Social Security, all I had to do was, there was some paperwork to fill out. I did have a few papers, and again, Johnny helped me with that. He handheld me through this process. So we go to the Social Security office, right? And I have my piece of paper from Social Security. It's a download. If you go to Social Security in the U.S., you can download your Social Security statement of how much you get, right? You don't have to get this apostolized. You don't have to get it notarized. You don't have to prove it. You just have to have this piece of paper, Michael Allen, whatever, this is how much he gets from Social Security, and you sign like an affidavit at the Social Security office saying all this is true. It's pretty easy, and so it's now, instead of being based on Rentista, it's based on my Social Security check. So it went from $280, kids, $280 a month to $128. It's like a $150 drop, man. $150 drop. You also have to keep in mind that immigration and Social Security are two different things. They're really not tied together. I mean, it seems like they're tied together because when you get your residency, the first thing you have to do is sign up for the CAJA, but they're not necessarily tied together. So Social Security really doesn't have a whole lot to do with the immigration part of it. Now, again, if you signed up, if you got your residency through Pensionado and you've already done this, you know, you probably have the number you have. But for me, the Rentista thing, you know, it was considerable for me. So got it down to $150, man. Super, super happy. It was super easy, man. There was nothing. It was like 3 pieces of paper. We were in the office for maybe 20 minutes, and they did it right there. This wasn't waiting a month. This wasn't waiting 2 months. I was like shocked. You know, I'm pretty pura vida these days. You know, I'm like expecting to go back 3 times. You didn't bring this paper. That one's not signed correctly. You know, I'm just used to that. I don't even complain about it anymore. I'm just kind of like, probably have to come back 63 times. Nothing. Went there, got it. Now I did. Oh, that's right. I guess there was the Social Security statement that my piece of paper, I had to get it translated into Spanish. Whatever. And that didn't take any time at all either. So anyway, if you do it, you have to have that one translated in Spanish. But in the office, Social Security amount in there about 20 minutes, reduced from 280 to about 130. That was a good day yesterday, man. Anyway, guys, I don't know if Johnny's going to help you. You could ask him. Anyway, guys, I'm Michael Allen, TravelCostaRicaNow.com. Hey, man, my videos are going to pop up. Thinking about living or traveling anywhere, always do your homework and research. If it's Costa Rica, I don't know, man. I'm going to put my videos up against anybody's. All right, man. Ciao.